Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another daily dose of Brothers War spoilers. So today, we don't have a ton of cards to talk about. In fact, there's only 2 cards, but they are really important cards. We're gonna look at Mishra and its Meld pair, the second brother of the Brothers War. So I figured I should probably do a video and talk about it because this card is so sweet. So before we jump into it, a couple of quick reminders. Number 1, if you need some Brothers War cards, you can get them from our awesome sponsor Card Kingdom over at cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish. Number 2, if you want to keep up on all the latest spoilers throughout the day, you should head on over to MTGpreviews.com. And number 3, there were a bunch of announcements today. This video is focused on the spoilers, but there was another video talking about Magic 30th anniversary set. So check that out. If you haven't seen the travesty of Magic 30th Anniversary Edition, it's pretty interesting. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's talk Brothers War in our new Mishra. So we only got 2 cards to talk about today. Well, kind of 3 cards, but these cards are so big, so good, so important that I just had to make a video about them. So we have our second brother from the Brothers War. Mishra is Mishra claimed by Gix, a 4-mana Rakdos legendary human artificer. It's a Phyrexian human artificer. It's a 3/5, and it says whenever you attack, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of attacking creatures. If Mishra and a creature named Phyrexian Dragon Engine are attacking, and you own and control them both, exile them and meld them into Mishra Lost to Phyrexia, it enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. So we'll get to the rest of Mishra, the meld part, in a minute. But first, Mishra's just actually kind of a good card. A 4-mana 3/5 is fine stats, and then its ability, it's kind of like a Hell Rider or a Brutal Horde Chief or a Sanctum Seeker. We've seen cards like this be pretty good in the past. If you can be aggressive and then slam down your Mishra, you can drain your opponent, gain some life, and then you're also working towards the meld ability. So it is a bit of a bummer that Mishra doesn't have haste like Hell Rider, although it does work really well with haste if you can find a way to give it haste. But still, just Mishra, the front half of the card without melding, is a pretty powerful threat in some sort of go wide Rakdos style deck. Maybe you're making a bunch of Oni called Anvil tokens or playing Tenacious Underdogs, Blood Tithe Harvesters. Mishra is a perfect fit there. And remember, it's a Rakdos card, and Rakdos is already probably the best color combination in Standard. We have a ton of black decks, a ton of them are splashing red to be Rakdos or Jund, so there's plenty of homes for Mishra in Standard. As far as Mishra's friend, its meld pair, Phyrexian Dragon Engine, it's not bad. It's a 3-mana 2/2 colorless Phyrexian Dragon artifact creature. It has double strike, so it's kind of a 4/2, and then when it ETBs from your graveyard, you can discard your hand if you do draw 3 cards, and it has Unearth of 5. So it carves pretty nicely with Mishra. You can like Phyrexian Dragon Engine, and then Mishra the next turn, and then attack, or maybe your Phyrexian Dragon Engine dies, and you Mishra on 4, and then you Unearth Phyrexian Dragon Engine and attack. So there's a bunch of ways you can flip this. So as far as Phyrexian Dragon Engine is the card, the most exciting part is it's colorless. We got tons of 3-mana 2/2 double strikers, but they're normally white cards. Cheap, colorless double strikers are pretty rare, so I think that's the interesting part of this card. It gives you a cheap double striker that is available in any color combination you want. Of course, for the Unearth ability, which is one of the big calling points of this card, you are going to want to have red mana in your deck, but still, you can play this in any deck you want. The Unearth ability kind of compares a little bit to like Ox of Agonis, coming back from the graveyard, discarding your hand, drawing 3, Bedlam Reveler's ETB trigger, and these are both cards that have seen a ton of play, and I think that's why Phyrexian Dragon Engine is probably a pretty good card. It by itself without Unearth is okay. A 3-mana 2/2 double striker, it's fine, but having this relatively aggressive threat that later in the game, once it dies, you can Unearth and draw 3 cards and refill your hand, that is a really, really powerful effect. So I think that Phyrexian Dragon Engine, because of that Unearth refill your hand mode, is actually going to be pretty decent. And then of course, if you actually king them both together and attacking, which again shouldn't be too hard to do, turn 3 Dragon Engine, have it live, turn 4 Mishra, have it live, attack, then you get to meld. Or the other way, get your Phyrexian Dragon Engine into the graveyard early in the game, turn 4 Mishra, turn 5 Unearth and meld. That also gets it done. Your reward is a bonkers creature. Mishra Lost to Phyrexia, a 9/9 legendary artifact creature, a Phyrexian artificer. It says when it ETBs or attacks, you get to choose 3. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Mishra deals 3 damage to any target. Destroy target artifact or planeswalker. Creatures you control get menace and trample until end of turn. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Or make 2 tap Power Stone tokens. Clearly the most powerful mode on this card. But really, imagine this. Like, we're just talking how you can pretty easily do this on turn 5 if you're built around it. When this works, you're going to have a 9/9 that is attacking on turn 5, and you're going to get these modes. You get to Mind Rot someone, you get to Lightning Bolt something, you get a bad Bedevil that can't hit creatures, you get some evasion on your creatures, you get Cower and Fear to wipe out small creatures, or double Karn +1, which, again, super busted. But I think that Mishra Lost to Phyrexia is a legit scary card. Of course, there's a downside. It is a creature. It's an even bigger downside. It's an artifact creature, so it does die to a lot. Although, if you manage to meld it, you are at least going to get the ETB trigger and hopefully get in that first attack using its 3 abilities, whichever ones you choose, giving evasion, getting rid of blockers, whatever you need to do. And even that is probably enough to make this relatively powerful, even 1 turn. And if it sticks around and you get to attack again the next turn and get all the triggers again, then it's going to be probably just game ending. It is worth pointing out that because Mishra Lost to Phyrexia enters a battlefield tapped and attacking, you're only going to get to choose its 3 modes once on the first turn. It's not being declared as an attacker, it's already attacking, so you're not going to get the attack trigger, but you will get the ETB trigger because it exiles and comes back into play. So you're getting those 3 choices on your first turn, and then every turn it lives, you get to do it again as it attacks, and it's not going to take long to kill your opponent with this 9/9 with a million abilities. I think that Mishra is probably better than Urza. I think that, okay, so here's my thinking. Urza's busted. The backside of Urza is super busted. But Urza, it costs 7 mana to meld it. The thing that I think makes Mishra in Phyrexian Dragon Engine probably much more competitive in Standard is you don't have to spend any mana to actually meld this. All you gotta do is attack with them, and your reward is you get this ridiculous artifact creature, that 9/9 version of Mishra that is gonna win the game in just a couple of turns. So I think that Mishra is probably just a stronger card than Urza, even though the backside of Urza I think is stronger than Mishra. Again, the problem with the backside of Mishra is it's an artifact creature, so Abrades and Inferno Grasps are gonna be able to deal with it. It probably won't stick around very long if your opponent has some removal, when a planeswalker is a little bit harder to kill, but the ease of flipping into the meld I think makes Mishra the better card for Standard. The backside, as I said, it's really good, but it is susceptible to much more removal than Urza. So if you were guaranteed to be able to flip either of these meld pairs, I think that Urza would be better. Like, the planeswalker half is super insane and less likely to die than Mishra, but because Mishra is easier to flip around, I think this is a card we're going to see a lot of in Standard. As I mentioned, we're already in a Standard that supports Mishra. I think the best way to play this card is try to get Dragon Engine into your graveyard early in the game. And if you look at the top tier Rakdos decks in the format, they're already playing Blood Tithe Harvester, making blood tokens that you can use to discard cards. They're already playing Fable the Mirror Breaker to rummage away cards. So I think rather than trying to cast your Phyrexian Dragon Engine, what you're probably going to try to do is get it in the graveyard early in the game, play Mishra on turn 4, if that lives, then you're just like, all right, unearth, sure, I'll discard my hand, draw some cards, and then I'll flip around into this ridiculous Mishra to hopefully win me the game. So the fact that some of the most ready-built homes for Mishra are some of the best decks in Standard already, and they already have cards that support its playstyle, makes me super hyped for this card. As far as Commander is concerned, that's where I think Urza is clearly the winner. And Commander, I don't know, this is just kind of a Rakdos aggro commander. To me, it's not nearly as interesting as Prosper and its Exile Matters theme, or Anj and its, Madness theme, or Demon Tribal with Rakdos, or Chainer Reanimator. Mishra is just kind of generic, like, play a bunch of creatures, attack with them, drain. Not that it's bad, and it's fun, and it's flavorful, and if you love Mishra, it's a fine leader for your deck, but it's one of those just kind of generic commanders, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, it doesn't push me in any direction. It's just like, I just play a bunch of creatures, and it'll be fine. So I don't expect it to be super popular in Commander, outside of people who just want to play Mishra, because Mishra's a sweet character. So Mishra in Phyrexian Dragon Engine, I'm pretty high on this partner pair. I think we're going to see a lot of this in Standard, and I think this is probably going to be a really good card, perhaps even better than Urza. So I guess I'm on Team Mishra when it comes to the Brothers War, just based on the power level of this meld pair. Oh yeah, one other thing I want to mention super quick is we also got another look at Dominaria Remastered, which is coming out this winter, so after the Brothers War, and that's a set that's kind of like mixing together 20 or 30 sets that feature Dominaria, and it looks like it's going to have some pretty sweet cards. We see Birds of Paradise, that's like a $10, $12 rare. Jester's Cap, pretty iconic, and I really love the borderless art on it. Doesn't see much play anymore. Time Stretch is like 20, 25 bucks thanks to Commander. Sneak Attacksman reprinted a bunch of times, but still like 20 bucks. Old Border Tayova looks amazing. The Counter Spell with the OG art, gonna be one of the promos from the set. So I gotta say, this set looks really, really good. As I've talked about before, my main concern is there gonna be enough supply to go around, or is this just gonna sell out instantly, be super expensive? But everything we've seen of Time Spiral Remastered so far makes it look like it's gonna be a pretty powerful, almost Masters level set, and that makes a lot of sense with so many Dominaria sets to pull from. So keep that in mind. These cards obviously not standard legal. This is the remastered set, not the standard set, but still looking pretty spicy with the borderless art and all the old border stuff and original art returning. So anyway, those have been our Brothers War spoilers for today. So what do you think? What do you think of Mishra? Is that card as busted as I think it is? Is that a new standard staple? What team are you on when it comes to the brothers in the Brothers War? Now that we've seen both Urza and its meld pair and Mishra and its meld pair, which one do you think is going to see more play? Which one's going to be better? Which one are you personally most hyped about? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back in a few weeks once we get more Brothers War spoilers. So until then, have a spectacular day, and I will talk to you soon. Looking for even more magic? Well, make sure to check out the video from earlier today where we broke down the travesty that is Magic's 30th anniversary edition.